CTV Channel 6 is proud to present the Roundtable. What's happening in the city, what's going to be coming up in the city. Roundtable gives us a chance to sit down with some celebrities, public officials, people who are important to the community.
My fifth term.
Yeah, it worked out. 5.5 months as the sheriff.
We're a public agency.
We needed a program where we could have a little more in-depth time, find out more about them, who they are, what they're doing, find out what their thoughts are, and let you have a chance to get to know them a little better. Welcome to another edition of the Roundtable. My name is Paul Dingeman. Welcome to 2015. We're glad you're here. This program always gives us a chance to sit down with some local officials and interesting people, spend a little more time with them than we do on some of our other programming. That is what we're going to do today with the representatives from District 5 and District 7 of the St. Clair County Board of Commissioners. We're going to join the chairman, Mr. Jeff Bohm from District 5 and Bill Gratopp from District 7. Welcome, gentlemen.
Well, thank you very much.
Welcome to 2015.
Good. Glad we're here.
How have you been? You get through the holidays. It's cold in January.
No, actually everything was really well. 2014 for the area was a very successful year, just with when you start looking at some of the regional projects. As you all know, the convention center's been talked about quite a bit up in Port here, and that's well on its way. Going to be completed here fairly soon, 2015 springtime. But probably the most exciting thing that I think we've really seen out of that project, and I think Bill will attest to this, some of the other recent developments, because that was always the, $10 million question was that if this comes, what other spin-off activity are we going to see from this? If you look at, just for example, in the city of Port Huron, they have broke ground on Water Street on an 82 bed plus hotel facility on Water Street.
Wonderful.
It's been well talked about the Sperry's building and the old Michigan National Bank building in downtown Port Huron. They're going to see two different projects that are coming in there. The old Michigan National Bank building is going to be a boutique hotel. This particular individual, Chuck Reed, that actually owns both of those buildings, is from Grand Rapids. And he owns a City Flats and a City Boutique, one in Grand Rapids, one in Holland. He has another one over there somewhere. This is, my understanding, going to be his fourth product. And then the Sperry's building is going to be a movie theater. When people talk about movie theaters, it's a little bit different situation. It's either 16 or 18 theaters, somewhere in that neighborhood. They're not large theaters. The footprint on these, for example, is like a 40 chair, real high end. You as an individual have the ability to rent a theater if you want it, so you and your friends could watch first run movies. They have food and drink service, so you can take your food, you can eat in the movie theater, you can have drinks. It's kind of dinner, movie, and a drinks all wrapped in one. If you, like I said, want to do them with your friends, and they're actually involved in these other theaters across the state, and there's actually other ones in the country. Chuck manufactures the furniture for a lot of these.
Oh my God!
His actually Chuck Reed's background is he is the manufacturer for a lot of the furniture, for example, in McDonald's fast food restaurants. Kind of his moneymaker, so to speak, and these are some of the other outside interests. And it's kind of exciting because, to be quite honest, the last two big projects that have happened in Port Huron have been outside money. John Wheeler's been well talked about. John, he's a Grand Rapids. Chuck, they all kind of run in packs, and I can tell you right now there's a couple other individuals looking at other opportunities up in Port Huron, and just the whole, we're really starting to get some traction. Economy's getting better.
The turnaround was a long time coming. It was probably predicated on the fact that the economy in the nation was terrible, and things sort of filter down when the automobile business is bad. It filters down to the individual communities, and of course we had a lot of plastics manufacturers here in the Marine City, St. Clair area. Some of those people went out of business, and it took a while to come back, and then the county and you guys started to get some impetus to get things going again, didn't you?
Well, I've been on the board 10 years. Bill's been on the board 4 years, and I've arguably served through the worst economic downturn since the Great Depression. So to go through that. I mean, those were tough times to
Terrible.
be in these positions.
We lost a
Because
lot of residents.
a lot of residents, a lot of employment,
A lot of homes.
just all of the above. And one good thing, if there's anything that's come out of a bad economy, I think, has really been the collaboration that we've seen countywide. One group that I talk a lot about is our Blue Meets Green group, which myself and Don Fletcher, which past president of Port Huron Hospital, is a co-chair, Randy Myers from the Community Foundation, many different stakeholders involved in the group and really setting regional priorities.
That's great. Bill, talk to me about your 2014 and what is going on.
It's been a very good year. All of my time on the board, the 4 years I've been on the board, we've done nothing but cut, and cut. And I'm looking for a point where we can kind of move things in a different direction and stuff. Fortunately, we were able to give the county employees a small raise this year. It's the first time we've had enough money that we were able to do that. But
It's a long time coming.
It was, and I have to give hats off to those employees. They stuck with us, did a great job. Everybody consolidated, put things together. I think we're given the same service that we were given before, and I think we're doing it with a lot less money. We've found a way to streamline things, and if we continue to move in the direction that we're moving, that streamlined service that we came up with, we're going to be able to do even more with less. So I think it's going to be a good way to go. Each commissioner works kind of as a county commissioner for the entire county,
Right.
but then again, each commissioner works as a commissioner for his particular area. I've got District 7 down at the south end, so I've got Algonac and Clay, Cottrell, Marine City, China Township, so I'm responsible to those people down in that area, and we've actually had some pretty good luck down there. Magna Industries is doing a nice expansion down that way
Yep.
in China Township.
Huge expansion.
Marine City's been just going gangbusters. They're just, every time you turn around, there's another antique shop that opens up. The sweet shop is doing very well. They've gotten into the loft business down in downtown Marine City to the point that they're up to about 11 lofts now. They take all those areas above these businesses down there. For example, at the Riviera Restaurant, Angelo put in 2 lofts up there. So now you have people living down there. John over at Anita's has put in about 5 on one side. He's across the street now buying more property to put in more things back there. We've opened the Snug Theater, and there's some lofts above there. Tom and Kathy Burton have opened a second theater now at the Riverbank Theater, the old bank building down there. That's open and that's up and running right now. We're looking at a development over on the Bell River that could become a boutique hotel and marina complex that would serve the needs of the community. It's right around the corner, over the bridge. It's about a 5-minute walk.
Wasn't the county instrumental in helping on that project too?
Absolutely.
The study of the ground or
Yep,
something?
we're doing the brownfield on that. Jeff and myself have been working very closely with our Metropolitan Planning Group. We have some people from that chase down grants for us that are working both for Marine City and for us. We're trying to bring all the players together so that you can take a look at this project and make sure that you've got all the players you need there to make this project come to fruition. Once done, I can guarantee you that you're going to need 1 or 2 more restaurants in Marine City, and I'm talking nice restaurants like the Little Bar is there right now. People want to come in there, they want to have dinner, theater, maybe go out for a cocktail afterwards, maybe even spend the night and not drive back home, especially with the Canadian market. So there's a lot of things going on down there in that respect. We just finished, if I'm going on too much, just cut me off.
No.
We just are about finished the Cottrell Township Park piece that was a grant through EPA and MDEQ and a few other organizations. Sea Grant was involved in that. They came in there and they took a shoreline that was sitting vacant about 365 feet, and they came in there and they cleaned it out, they dredged it out, they took out all of the old hard shoreline.
Where is that?
It is right in Roberts Landing, just south of Roberts
So when
Landing.
you're coming south on M29, the road sort of turns there.
You make a curve
There was a
right
Roberts Landing, there was a ferry boat there years ago.
Years ago. You're
Is that-
going way
is-
back, Paul. You must be older than me.
No, I read about it. Jeff told me about it. Jeff told me about it. But is that the general area?
It's right there. It's between Roberts Landing and the state park. And they have both sides of the road for this property.
But there's residential in there, isn't there, on the water side?
There's some on both sides of the park. There's some residential on the water, but then across the street, there's residential on both sides of the park.
Okay.
So their park covers 365 feet of waterfront.
Wow.
That has just been developed, rocks put in location, and it's all designed, Paul, at taking the St. Clair River off an area of concern list that it's on.
Good.
And it softens the shoreline, it brings in vegetation, it brings in the small animals and the bugs and the fish and whoever eats each other on that thing. And they feed people, and it's
great.
It's a great way to go. And then
I know they're happy in Cotterville. They are
Oh.
excited about it.
Very much so. And then the other piece, it backs up to the bike trail. So there's going to be that going on. Then just a little bit further south, the Marine City Dredge Cut, they're doing the same thing there, cleaning that area out, putting in the rock formation to develop this area and keep it secure, keep it safe, and keep it for the animals, the vegetation, the water life, the aquatic life. They're going to go back in, they're going to clean out the drain back in that way with the Phragmite control. Drain Commissioner is going to co-op on this with them. When that's done, we already have 5 lots right in the corner down there where the bike trail comes through and the bike path, the Green City Dredge Cut, and the State Park all comes together in one area back there. And it's actually part of the city of Algonac, but right across from Clay Township. We've got 5 lots back in there. We want to put in a canoe kayak launch system.
Oh, okay, great.
So once you launch your kayak right there, you've got 2 ways to go. You can go to the right and go out into the big waters and do whatever you want out there, or you can go to the left and work your way back in through behind the state park, back in that way.
Wow.
So those are 2 of the things. And then, of course, Sarson's Island's got another project, but that one's on hold for right now. So busy.
Little did you know 4 years ago when you became a commissioner that you'd have all this enthusiasm still with you and this excitement.
Paul, it's an absolutely exciting thing for me to sit here and to do this stuff. And I can't tell you how much I have learned in the amount of people that I've met in 4 years. And every single day, I learn something new from somebody else about how the county runs, how it should run.
That's great.
Yes.
That's great. That's great. Good example of a guy that got involved, huh?
Well, it's hard to teach old dogs new tricks sometimes, but he's learning.
So 2015, we've sort of talked about Port Huron is going to have some exciting things. How about our cities of Marine City and St. Clair as far as the county is concerned?
Well, I think if you look in St. Clair, and we've been still talking about some of the different things with, you see what's going on in the mall with the center courtyard right now, the community foundation. M29, we had a series of meetings with the city of St. Clair, learning more about M29. You know, a lot of times you look at it, people don't want to make any changes to that road, but then on the other part, well, it needs to slow it down, it needs to be safer, those types of things. So I think you're going to see the
Mayor
county.
Cedar had a nice comment in the paper the other day about it needs to be slowed down. It needs to for safety of the pedestrians going across the street.
Really the tie-in between the mall, M29, the boardwalk, and the St. Clair. And make it no mistake, the big priority in St. Clair is to get the St. Clair back up and running. The St. Clair being down, not just even from St. Clair's perspective, when that was scored out in our Blue Meets Green regional priorities 2 years ago, it came in number 7 on the list. When they rescored all those different priorities, it came back as number 2. Now this is coming from all the people in the region. They understand the significance of the St. Clair not only to, like I said, St. Clair, but the region. If you just look from a hotel perspective, and you talk a little bit about this project in Marine City, there are no essentially hotels south of St. Clair. I mean, there's some small mom and pop shops, and I don't want to discredit that,
No,
but
and they've been there for years and served a great community.
any kind of full service hotels, when you have your business traveler that comes to St. Clair, okay, Cargill's a great example. They always have people that come in to see them. Edison, where do you put those people? It's been a very big void in that market. So St. Clair, to get St. Clair back up and running, is going to be, and the county's been involved. We put it into a brownfield redevelopment program. We've got a phase 1, a phase 2, some hazardous environmental. It took 4 months to get that accomplished. We're working with some different developers that are for real. Okay, it'll make it no mistake. I mean, I think we all get, we all hear a lot of grandiose ideas from a lot of individuals, but then those types of things that come to fruition, don't happen sometimes. But we have an interested party who's working right now through a lot of the obstacles with the St. Clair but has the ability and wherewithal. And the city of St. Clair has a community foundation. City of St. Clair has a substantial set aside from the community foundation, which is private money, which is going to be reinvested in St. Clair for a long time to come. So St. Clair, you hear a lot of the things where Marine City's, going. St. Clair is also heading on the right path. It's getting the ball started, kind of getting the ball rolling. So just a lot of good things. We are going to be having our regional priority, our Blue Meets Green meeting here in February, to rescore the next set of priorities. We're solicited local communities for local and regional projects. And what happens, there's 80 to 100 different people that are the heads of a lot of different organizations that will be sitting down at that table and really scoring out these different. Then what that really gives us from the county's level, it kind of gives us a how-to map. It's not Jeff Bohm and Bill Gratopp woke up on the wrong side of the bed today and we want to work on these projects. This is collectively by a much larger group, and the important part of that is the regionalization piece, where it fits in your plan. Because when you sit down with the MEDC and you're looking for assistance or trying to put these things together, the very first question that they ask you, where is it in your plan? Okay. If it's not in your plan, it's very hard to get these things funded or to get help. So that's why this whole regional planning, and I can tell you politically, the partnerships between the counties, the cities, townships, community foundations, all the different people to make things happen is better than I've seen it in a long time. And to my point, if one good thing's come out of the bad economy, it's become the collaboration. Because people, essentially, you can't self-fund, your own, I don't want to say your own interest, but when everybody had money before to do their things, you weren't sitting down talking to others, So.
One of the big things that came out of the lame duck session and last fall's elections was roads. Everybody's complaining about roads. Now we understand there's going to be an election sometime in May to let the voters decide what they're going to do. How does the county interact with that whole subject?
Thank God, not a lot.
Okay.
People, so we have here's one of the things when you talk about the St. Clair County Road Commission, you have like St. Clair Community Mental Health, you have St. Clair. A lot of these things hold the tag of St. Clair County, so I think a lot of times people assume that we're directly responsible for them. For example, the St. Clair County Road Commission, their funding mechanism is the gas tax. They get a percentage of the gas tax. The county board assigns 3 commissioners currently.
But is the legislature thinking about changing that whole formula?
Well, you never know.
Okay.
They threw it
good
out there.
answer.
They threw it out there that you could change it if you wanted to.
Okay.
That option is there.
Okay.
But I don't think we're.
Our role is essentially we assign 3 commissioners there's 3 different districts the county's broke up into. Those commissioners then oversee the county road commission, correct. Then we have a matching program because we do understand the significance of, we have like the 4th or 5th most gravel dirt roads in the state of Michigan. Surprisingly, we got a ton of them. So we put $800,000, actually it's $900,000 now into the program. It's a matching program that the road commissions match. We put this money aside to match, and then the townships make their match. It's some matching monies. We're one of 11 counties that do it. It's a testament to St. Clair County and the commitment. And it was at $600,000 when I first got on the board. We've actually raised it to $900,000.
Wow.
So we understand the significance of the roads. Probably the number one thing that people, arguably complain about. And rightfully so. The roads are in really bad shape. But the day-to-day operations of the road commission do not fall under the county commission. Not that I get a lot of calls, but I think it's probably one of the most confusing, because if they put St. Clair County in front of anything, St. Clair County Health Department, we have a little involvement in the health department, but they have their own funding mechanism. Community mental health, we really don't have anything to do with St. Clair County Community Mental Health. I mean, we do some joint programming, not a lot. Road commission, so ours is the what would fall under us would be the St. Clair County is general government, a lot of the public safety, judiciary, those types of things. But then there's a lot of other elected officials that are part of the mix too. So when you look at, we always say we directly control 27% of the total county budget. And what I mean by that is the people that work under administration, Bill Kaufman, 27% of that. We do set the budgets for the other departments, but the sheriff is elected. The judges are elected. So when they start, prosecutor, clerk, when you start talking about them setting their budgets, then they have control over their budget. the working relationship with those guys is as good as it's been. Bill Kaufman, administrator,
Right.
he never got the luxury of serving in the old budget battle days 8 years ago when everybody
He brought
walked
a breath of fresh air.
when everybody
he
walked
did.
out of there with a red face and a lot of hard feelings sitting in the room. I can tell you, Bill Kaufman, and I'll say this, if I've never ever do anything else right in politics, I hired Bill Kaufman. The guy is that good, and he's brought a lot of consistency and calming, call it whatever
Very
you
calm
want,
fellow.
to that organization. Along with Kerry Hepting, I can't downplay Kerry Hepting's role as our accounting. So those two working together. You know, the budget, every city council, township, whatever, the budget's always a big issue, setting the budget for the next year. This year, Bill and Kerry put the budget together, worked with everybody. My phone didn't ring once,
Right.
not one
Super.
time, which is a miracle.
Yeah.
And they first said they were going to do it. I was like, have at it. But so no, things are good. We're in good shape financially. Maintain our bond rating. Kept our fund balance strong. We've actually increased our fund balance. So now you're kind of starting to see the bottom. You know, home values are starting to creep back up, and some of these other things. So a lot of good things. It's a lot more fun sitting in this position than it was
2 years ago.
6 years ago.
6 years
Yeah.
ago. One final one, the generator, the gas generator, the landfill.
Yeah.
What's happening out there?
Working well, churning gas like crazy. We're actually expanding the bioreactor as we speak.
Did you get some Canadian,
yeah.
additional Canadian
Yeah,
traffic?
yeah, we've got some additional, and when we talk about Canadian trash, because I think some people a lot of times get the trash issue confused. We take very specific, highly organic, biodegradable Canadian trash, which works. I use it as the example as fuel in your car. That works very well in this bioreactor process. So when you add the septic from the septic tank, essentially from the haulers, that's the magic potion. It breaks that down and produces a ton of methane gas. We're not taking construction and demo material. We're not,
specific stuff you take.
about 7 trucks a day on average is what we get, and it was to backfill some of the decreases in volume. And it was nice because we were essentially able to, if you want to call it cherry pick, but go after specific waste streams that work well in our landfill. Yeah, so that.
Well, we've talked about a lot of subjects. Did we miss anything here, gentlemen?
I think we've got most everything. As Jeff mentioned, we're kind of excited about Thursday's meeting because it's a short meeting, it's an organizational meeting. But once we finish with that meeting, we're going to move into this list of things that we want to do, set some priorities for next year. I think every commissioner probably has a couple of little things they would like to do. Collectively, we have a lot of things. Jeff's got a list longer than anybody's on what we want to do. And department heads also have an input, things that they may want to see get done. As long as they get that to us, we can put it into a priority list and we can look at things. And depending on what's there, some things take a lot of money, some take a little bit of money, some don't take any money. It's just a reorganization. And so we're anxious to kind of set our goals and know what we're heading for the next 2 years. We don't just go in every day and say, okay, what's going on today? We work on these goals as we move through there. We're in the process right now of changing over in the Sheriff's Department and in our central dispatch to a new records management system that we're not online yet. I think the connection was made yesterday, so we are getting close to going online. And once we do that, we're going to be tied in with 100 different agencies in southeastern Michigan, so that if Paul Dingeman is out there driving and he gets stopped 5 times for speeding and he gets a break every time, if I stop and I write Paul Dingeman in that computer, it says, I could see right there, you've been stopped over here and over there and over here and way over on the other side of Ann Arbor.
Technology's fun, wonderful, isn't it?
You're not getting a break today.
Right. But I need one.
Big
But
Brother's
this
watching.
This is a state-of-the-art system. It's going to be tied into our computer CAD system, our computer-aided dispatch system. It's going to be a good thing. So this is just little things that people don't even know we're working on. We've been working on for a long time, and we're going to continue to do that. So.
Great. Mr. Gratopp, happy 2015.
Yeah.
Mr. Bohm,
Yeah,
always a
thanks for
pleasure to
having
see you
us.
both.
Yeah, very much.
We're glad that they stopped by. Lots of information for you from the County of St. Clair, the commissioner, and 2 of the district commissioners, District 5, District 7. We thank them both for coming. Thank you for tuning in to the first edition of Roundtable in 2015. We'll see you soon.